So keep that in mind, because all these buildings on my right-hand side and behind us are all built up by some 20 feet to stop the River Avon flooding the later cities of Bath. So now you know about the Roman city of Aquae Sulis in minor detail. Now, do we have any Jane Austen fans on board today? Jane Austen was our greatest literary writer. No Jane Austen fans. But I'm disappointed you all, because if we roll the clock back to 1709, exactly where this bus is parked now, there would have been a large building here called the Lower Assembly Rooms. On your city tour, you've already seen the Upper Assembly Rooms, but this is where Jane Austen came out to dance in the early 1800s, as referred to in Northanger Abbey. Page 13, if you want to look it up, this is where Jane Austen came out to play, because this area here was the centre of Georgian social life right through until 1771. The building itself was demolished in the reconstruction of Bath in 1933. Now, to put all that into context, you really have to need or have a quick potted history on the history of Bath. There are three golden eras in the history of Bath. Golden era number one was the Roman era, and I'll tell you more about that when we get in amongst the trees where the Romans came looking for lead. Secondly, the greatest golden era is golden era number two, the Georgian era. Think the 1700s, think the reigns of George I, II and III. It is the Georgian era which led us to be granted World Heritage status in 1987, mainly because during the 1700s the Georgians built some 6,000 individual Georgian buildings, for example these on the right hand side here, and despite the best efforts of the Luftwaffe in World War II and the City Council in the 1960s, we have over 4,500 beautiful Georgian buildings to look at, many of which, some of which, we'll get to see later on the third day. And the third golden era is really the era since 1987. We now have over 5.5 million visitors every year, brings in about £500 million to our economy, so it is incredibly important. But the greatest golden era is golden era number two, the Georgians. And in one sentence, why did Bath become popular? Well, they came here, the Georgians, a million, to have a jolly good time. Every conceivable vice was available here in the city of Bath in the 1700s. They came here to gamble, they came here to drink, they came here to party, they came here to womanise. And in the 1700s, Bath really became three things. Firstly, it became the most fashionable party city, should we say, outside the city of London. Secondly, it became a very large building site, as 6,000 buildings were constructed during the 1700s. And thirdly, it became a bit of a speed dating centre, because in the 1700s, your parents might well have come here to gamble in the building we spoke about a moment ago, but they'd probably bring their unmarried children with them, because if you were unmarried in the Georgian era, by the time you got to 28, 29, 30, you were seen as being over the hill, and therefore your parents or your father particularly was coming to gamble in any way, but they would also make sure that their offspring were married off to a suitable suit, particularly the young daughters, because it was very important for young ladies in the Georgian era to be married to a suitable gentleman, preferably one with deep